Welcome to the Binge List, fellow TV and film fanatics. I am Greg, and I make recommendations for TV shows and movies that you can access from the comfort of your own home. And in July, Netflix is adding a boatload of new titles across every genre, and with so many options, it can be challenging to decide what's worth your time. So I've reviewed the list and I've selected some options that are worth checking out. And for the sake of time, I can't go through every single title, but I am going to give you 20 solid options, talk about them a little bit, and why they look like a quality option. And then at the end, I will show you a list of everything hitting Netflix in July of 2024. So as always, stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time. Let's jump in and check out the list. The first title on this list is a classic, but if you have not seen it, it is a great option to check out, and that is American Psycho. This film follows Patrick Bateman, played by Christian Bale, who is a seemingly ordinary Wall Street investment banker by day. However, beneath the designer suits and narcissistic charms lies a violent psychopath. The film delves into the dark world of consumerism, obsession with status symbols, and brutal murders. Throughout the film, the lines between reality and Bateman's gruesome fantasies start to blur. If I had to pick out just one reason to watch this film, it is Christian Bale's performance. He is outstanding as he always is and delivers this chilling portrayal of this truly disturbed man. And it does delve into some social commentary of the 1980s Wall Street culture and consumerism that I talked about. And it leads to some of the film's dark humor and this unique visual style that creates an unsettling atmosphere throughout the entire film. And I will admit that American Psycho remains a bit of a controversial classic with some excessive violence that might not be for everyone, but it does give you this epic performance from Bale in a stylish film, definitely worth checking out for yourself.
There's something sweet about you.
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Next up on the list is probably one of, if not the most iconic sci-fi trilogy of all time, and this is referenced in just about everything, and this is the Back to the Future trilogy, where we follow Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, who is a teenager who accidentally gets propelled through time in a DeLorean time machine built by his eccentric scientist friend, Doc Brown, played by Christopher Lloyd. Each film features Marty's hilarious misadventures as he navigates the past, the present, and the future, trying to fix historical mishaps and ensure his own existence. These films are filled with pop culture references, witty dialogue, and thrilling adventures all the way through, and they do have the perfect cast in this. The chemistry between Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd is legendary, bringing humor and heart to both of these iconic characters. Also keeping in mind when these movies were made, it definitely makes the time travel effects seem more impressive, and I think it contributes to the film's lasting appeal. And while the first film is universally adored, the sequels might not be as good, but they still capture a lot of that same magic. The Back to the Future trilogy is a testament to clever storytelling, iconic characters, and this enduring sense of fun. So whether you're revisiting the films or experiencing them for the first time, the Back to the Future trilogy promises a time-traveling adventure that is worth a watch.
Horrible nightmare. Dreamed that I went back in time.
On to another iconic classic with Adam Sandler starring as Sonny Koufax in Big Daddy. Sonny is a commitment-phobic slacker whose life takes an unexpected turn when he adopts a 5-year-old boy to impress his girlfriend. Sonny is unprepared, to say the least, for the realities and responsibilities of fatherhood, and he stumbles hilariously through these misadventures as he learns his own responsibility and forms a genuine bond with the young Julian. While this one is not critically acclaimed, Big Daddy does have tons to love with a classic Adam Sandler performance, and if you enjoy his style of humor, this movie is packed full of laughs. It has tons of slapstick, ridiculous situations, and immature humor. But despite the goofiness, this film's core message about family and responsibility definitely is present throughout this film, and there is a really cool connection between Sandler and Sprouse, who plays the young Julian in the film. The bond between them definitely tugs at your heartstrings. So if you're in the mood for some laughs with a touch of heart, this film might be perfect for you right now, as it offers lighthearted and an ultimately heartwarming look at fatherhood.
If you want to enter the greatest city on earth, first, you have to get by one person.
Shut up! You shut up! Let's go! I'm waiting on you!
Next up on the first is the film Captain Phillips, which is a gripping true story thriller where Captain Phillips recounts the 2009 hijacking of a container ship by Somali pirates. The film unfolds as a tense standoff between the outnumbered crew and the desperate pirates, highlighting themes of courage, leadership, and the survival in the face of these just overwhelming odds. Unlike Big Daddy, Captain Phillips garnered critical acclaim for a ton of different things, including its realistic portrayals and the strong performances. Those performances being led by Tom Hanks as Captain Phillips himself, along with Barkad Abdi, who has one of the most iconic moments in this movie. Both of these actors showcase their acting prowess, showing off their characters' vulnerabilities and strength in these extreme moments. And one thing that really stands out when you watch this one is the shaky cam style filming that puts you right in the heat of the action, creating a realistic and suspenseful atmosphere. Captain Phillips is a powerful film based on a true story that sticks with you and is a must-watch for those who enjoy suspenseful true story dramas with strong performances.
Everything gonna be okay. Look at me. Sure. Look at me. Sure. I'm the captain now.
The next one on our list is a bit of a lesser known option in my opinion, and this is the film Life from 2017. That throws a crew of international astronauts on the International Space Station for a loop when they discover a rapidly evolving Martian life form. This one has a star-studded cast with Jake Gyllenhaal, Rebecca Ferguson, and Ryan Reynolds, who lead this sci-fi thriller that explores the dangers of first contact and the fight for survival in the claustrophobic confines of the International Space Station. As the Martian organism grows more intelligent and aggressive, the crew must make the impossible choice to contain the threat and ensure humanity and their own survival. First, I'll say being confined in the space station really gives this film the ability to build tension within the enclosed environment, making even the most casual situations feel a bit stressful. And again, the core cast in this one is outstanding. They deliver believable and engaging performances, really elevating the entertainment value of the overall movie. And yeah, the plot can be a bit predictable with this one, with familiar alien horror tropes, but I really enjoy the evolution from sci-fi exploration film to full-blown creature film. A cool blend of the genres, and it almost feels like a tale of two stories from one half to the other. The film Life might not be a groundbreaking sci-fi masterpiece, but it does deliver a thrilling and suspenseful ride with strong performances and a cool genre mashup that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Worth checking out.
Will risk all human life.
We're out of orbit.
You don't know what it can do!
The life we know. The life we know.
Next up, let's talk about the first show that I ever officially binge watched with the series Lost. If you're not a fan or you're not familiar with it, Lost follows the survivors of Oceanic Airlines Flight 815, who crash landed on a seemingly deserted tropical island. As they struggle to survive and uncover the island's secrets, the series delves into flashbacks revealing the passengers' past lives and hinting at their own connections. With a complex mythology involving smoke monsters, polar bears, and cryptic messages, Lost was honestly a cultural phenomenon when it was released, and throughout its 6 seasons, Lost has some truly compelling mysteries. The series creates captivating central narratives that unfold over several seasons, along with amazing character development, where you explore the backstories and motivations of this diverse cast, creating well-rounded and relatable characters that are fun to root for and root against. And regardless of what type of show you like, Lost successfully weave together elements of science fiction, drama, love stories, action, adventure, keeping you guessing and engaged throughout every single episode. I will say that this is one of the most complex mythologies and twisty shows of any show I've ever watched, so Lost may not be for everybody, but it's ambitious with its storytelling, compelling characters, and enduring mysteries that make it a phenomenal watch for anybody who can follow along. Definitely worth checking out for yourself.
We must have been at about 40,000 feet when it happened. In an air pocket. It dropped.
So let's talk about another iconic classic trilogy with Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker and Sam Raimi's action-packed Spider-Man trilogy. I am almost positive everybody knows this story, but this coming-of-age story follows Peter, whose journey from shy high schooler to responsible hero starts with a radioactive spider bite granting him incredible abilities. Peter must balance his newfound powers with the personal struggles of a teenager and the weight of this responsibility, facing off against iconic characters throughout the trilogy like Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Venom. As a die-hard Marvel fan, there is certainly a lot to love about these movies and some stuff to just forget if it ever happened, But Maguire's performance as Peter Parker / Spider-Man is mostly a highlight throughout, along with great supporting cast members like Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, J.K. Simmons, Alfred Molina, Rosemary Harris, Bryce Dallas Howard, Thomas Church, and Topher Grace. And it might be Maguire's movies all the way through, but William Dafoe's iconic performance as Green Goblin remains a highlight that steals the show anytime he's on screen. Also, with director Sam Raimi's unique blend of action, humor, and heart makes these films resonate with you, creating a visually stunning and entertaining experience, even if some of the CGI effects in the earlier films haven't aged that well. The Spider-Man trilogy remains a beloved part of superhero cinema history. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the story, this journey as Spider-Man offers a timeless blend of action, humor, and heart, and is now also connected to the larger MCU if you're a fan of that.
If somebody told you I was just your average, ordinary guy, not a care in the world, somebody lied.
So I'm not really sure if Back to the Future or this next one is more iconic, but also coming to Netflix in July is The Karate Kid, where we follow Daniel LaRusso, played by Ralph Macchio, who is a teenager who relocates to California and quickly finds himself the target of a vicious karate dojo called Cobra Kai. After a chance encounter with Mr. Miyagi, played by Pat Morita, a seemingly mild-mannered apartment handyman, Daniel finds an unlikely mentor. Mr. Miyagi agrees to train Daniel not just in self-defense, but in valuable life lessons. As Daniel prepares to face his bullies in a karate tournament, he learns the importance of discipline, perseverance, and inner peace. This movie certainly set the standards for underdog stories going forward, delivering messages about overcoming adversity and standing up to bullies. And I know Macchio and Morita is a very unique combo, but it is one that works so well. Similar to Doc Brown and Marty McFly, they have excellent chemistry, making their student-mentor relationship both heartwarming and way more humorous than you'd think, along with tons of iconic moments that are just ever present in today's pop culture, from wax on, wax off to training montages and of course the crane kick. The Karate Kid is a timeless coming of age story that continues to entertain, so if you're looking for a feel-good movie with a powerful message and some unforgettable moments, The Karate Kid is worth a watch. And if you're a fan of the series Cobra Kai, it'll definitely help you get most of the references.
Hey, you the maintenance man?
So let's move on to something a bit newer, and we'll talk about 2016's Warcraft film. This film throws you into the epic clash between humans and orcs when a magical portal connects their worlds. Based on the popular video game franchise, this film follows Anduin, a human warrior king, and Duratan, an orc chieftain, as they fight for the survival of their people. Caught in the middle of a war fueled by magic and desperation, both heroes must face difficult choices that will determine the fate of their own civilizations. The film itself has stunning CGI visuals, recreating the fantastical worlds of Warcraft, along with iconic locations, characters, and creatures. And anyone who watches my videos know that I love some good world building. Now, no, I'm not a player of Warcraft, so zero knowledge going into it, but I did feel like the introduction to the world of Azeroth and the lore was handled well, and it felt like you could walk right into this world. Honestly, again, with zero experience, I could follow what was going on, even if at times it did feel a bit slow at the beginning. But when the film does pick up the pace with action and the large-scale battles, it is exciting, fun, magical. You get well done fight choreography, magic spells, lightning, and the camera work keeps you right in on these fights, which keeps you very engaged and energized. Now, this is not the greatest narrative ever told, but Warcraft offers you a visually stunning introduction to this world on a large-scale fantasy adventure. If you're a fan of Warcraft games or you enjoy epic fantasy battles, Warcraft is certainly worth checking out. And if you don't trust me, it also has one of the coolest trailers ever with great music and action, so check it out.
Whatever you plan to do, do it now!
So the last title that hits Netflix on the first that I'm going to talk about is Zombieland. This is a film that blasts its way through the zombie apocalypse with a hilarious and action-packed story. Jesse Eisenberg stars as this neurotic college student who meticulously crafts a set of rules for survival in a world overrun by the undead. On his journey to reunite with his family, Eisenberg's character teams up with Tallahassee, played by Woody Harrelson, who is a trigger-happy gun enthusiast with a deep love for Twinkies. Along the way, they encounter Wichita, Emma Stone, and Little Rock, played by Abigail Breslin, two con artist sisters navigating the wasteland. But as they travel together, they face flesh-eating zombies, dysfunctional relationships, and the search for humanity in a post-apocalyptic world. I've seen this movie way more times than I can count, and I feel like this film is a great balance of dark and witty humor with surprisingly gruesome zombie action scenes that you could find right in a Walking Dead comic or show. But not all the zombies are gruesome and hardcore. The film offers a unique perspective on the zombie genre, still focusing on the character's survival, but in a much sillier way in times with tons of quirky personalities. But the main highlight in this one is the chemistry between the main cast, particularly Eisenberg and Harrelson. They are a great duo, making their characters funny and engaging, and they do work well with the sisters with Emma Stone and Breslin as well. Zombieland is fun. It's a gory romp through a zombie-infested world. If you're looking for laughs, thrills, and a fresh take on the undead, then Zombieland is a perfect movie for you to check out.
My mother always told me, someday you'll be good at something. I mean, I don't think she could have guessed that something would be zombie killing. What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
So let's move on to our first title on July 3rd, and this is a movie that feels like a throwback, but it is a new movie all rolled into one, and this is Beverly Hills Cop Axel F., where we see Eddie Murphy reunite with his iconic character Axel Foley. Decades after his last adventure in Beverly Hills, Axel returns when his daughter's life is threatened. Partnering up with some old friends, Axel dives headfirst into a new case, determined to protect his daughter and uncover a dangerous conspiracy. This one isn't released yet, but I would expect classic Axel Foley action, wisecracks, high-speed chases, and plenty of trouble for the Beverly Hills Police Department in this one, along with that nostalgia factor for fans of the original trilogy. I know I'm excited to see Eddie Murphy reprise his role and hopefully recapture the magic of the franchise. And yes, it'll be great to see him on screen with Judd Reinhold and John Astin, but a few new additions that'll make it intriguing as well, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Kevin Bacon, and Taylor Page joining the cast too. And I'm cautiously optimistic, but I do worry a little bit about this film. It might struggle to capture the charm and energy of the original movies, like we saw in Coming to America 2, but it is the return of a beloved franchise and the character itself, so it's absolutely worth giving a chance.
I almost admire you. Still on these streets, running and gunning.
Let's move forward to July 11th with the film The Neon Highway. We follow the story of Wayne Collins, played by Rob Mays, who is a down-on-his-luck singer-songwriter seeking a second chance in Nashville after a car accident derails his musical aspirations. Wayne encounters a washed-up country music legend, Claude Allen, played by Beau Bridges, and together they embark on a road trip to Nashville, hoping to revive careers and reignite musical dreams. And the journey itself becomes a test of perseverance, forcing them to confront past mistakes and find redemption on the neon-lit highways of America. The performances of Rob Mays and Beau Bridges are outstanding, with tons of nuance in their portrayals, highlighting their chemistry and ability to portray the struggles and triumphs of their characters. And country music is definitely a core driver of this movie, with appearances by country music stars like Lee Brice and Pam Tillis, adding authenticity to the musical theme of it. So for fans of the genre, this is a great option for you, but if that's not your jam, there is still plenty to love about this film, with themes like second chances, the chase of success, and the price of fame. If you enjoy character-driven dramas with a strong musical focus, The Neon Highway is worth a watch.
I will never, ever get another chance like this.
Are you Claude Allen? My grandmother loves you.
I gotta take a piss. Oh boy.
So my next pick is the first international pick on this list, and there seems to be a ton coming to Netflix internationally that looks good, but Blame the Game on July 12th stood out to me the most. And this is a German comedy film where Pia invites her new boyfriend Jan to join game night with her close friends for the first time. However, things get complicated when Pia's ex Finn also shows up unexpectedly. And again, this one isn't out yet, but from the trailer it looks as the evening progresses, competitive spirits, high tensions, and hilarious mishaps turn the game night into a test of friendships and relationships. And this one seems like it's going to be a fast-paced and lighthearted comedy with a focus on relationship dynamics and the sometimes unique situations that arise within friend groups, which I'm sure is going to be packed full of relatable situations and crazy over-the-top awkward moments that will provide tons of laughs. So hopefully Netflix's dubbing will make Blame the Game another great watch. Also on the 12th, we get the historical sports drama The Long Game. And I have not seen this one yet, and I don't typically recommend movies unless I did or it's brand new, but Jay Hernandez and Dennis Quaid star in some of my all-time favorite sports movies, so I am going to give this one the benefit of the doubt here. But this film tells the true story of 5 young Mexican-American caddies in 1955 who dreamed of playing golf themselves. Denied access to the courses they maintain, they overcome prejudice and limited resources to build their own makeshift course in the Texas desert. The film looks to have messages of perseverance and the importance of chasing your dreams, even in the face of enormous adversity. So a true David versus Goliath sports movie. And it has a solid cast with Hernandez and Quaid, of course, but you also get Cheech Marin, Jaina Lee Ortiz, and Brett Cullen, along with the young cast, who I did read is commended for their believable portrayals and their ability to capture the spirit and determination of their characters. And being based on a true story definitely adds to the stakes of the film as you're watching it. So The Long Game looks to be a charming and inspiring sports film that will leave you rooting for the underdogs. So if you're looking for a feel-good movie, The Long Game looks to be a solid option.
You boys built all this?
Yes, Mr. Mitchell.
Call me Coach.
Now halfway through the month, let's move on and let's talk about Bone Tomahawk. This film throws you into a desolate frontier where a small town sheriff played by Kurt Russell leads a posse on a perilous rescue mission. When a group of townspeople are abducted by a cannibalistic cave-dwelling clan nearby, Sheriff Hunt assembles an unlikely team. As they venture deeper into the unforgiving landscape, the men face not only the dangers of the Wild West, but also a horrifying and brutal enemy. Bone Tomahawk is a genre-bending film that blends the classical Western themes with a ton of different horror elements. With strong performances from the main cast, Kurt Russell as the grizzled, weathered sheriff, along with Patrick Wilson, Matt Fox, Richard Jenkins, and David Arquette, you get to see a wide range of classical Western personalities. And this movie is fairly slow in the first half, but it really does not feel that way, as it really builds the suspense and this nightmarish feel that haunts you in the background of the scenes. And I want to put this out there, this one might not be a good fit for everyone because the film feels like a classic gore film with its raw and brutal depictions of violence. If that's not for you, totally okay. It is quite a violent film, but it does have a lot of other things to offer you, like the genre-bending experience that you get to go through and quality performances from this cast, so it might be worth checking out if that sounds like something you'd enjoy.
Right there.
Bracing. This is going to penetrate.
So on the 18th, we get a solid follow-up to The Karate Kid earlier in the month with Season 6, Part 1 of the series Cobra Kai. Picking up after the shocking events of Season 5, while Johnny Lawrence struggles to atone for his past mistakes and help his students navigate the consequences, we also see Daniel LaRusso, played by Ralph Macchio, seek help from an old friend, and this show has been outstanding so far, so it is awesome to see it return and expand the Karate Kid universe, plus the building drama of the Cobra Kai saga, along with the development of some of these fan favorite characters. But like the other seasons, this one does promise to have high stakes karate battles and emotional character moments as well. And I'm glad that it's here, but it's definitely disappointing that this one is only set to be 5 episodes in part 1. So I assume the story is going to progress slowly. Still, I will be sure to check it out and see where the story goes.
Love the smell of karate in the afternoon.
So if Cobra Kai doesn't do it for you on the 18th, let's talk about something a little different with the action thriller Land of Bad. This film throws you into a heart-pounding war drama following a daring rescue mission into hostile territory. Sergeant J.J. Playboy Kinney, played by Liam Hemsworth, and a team of Delta Force soldiers are ambushed and pinned down by enemy forces. Their only hope for survival rests with the jaded Air Force drone pilot, Captain Eddie Grim Reaper, played by Russell Crowe. Guiding Kinney through the enemy lines via drone surveillance, Reaper becomes the eye in the sky, orchestrating a desperate fight for survival. And this movie is jam-packed with intense and well-choreographed action sequences, showcasing the brutality and chaos of war through gunfights, hand-to-hand combat, and explosives, You name it, this movie's got the action. And this film has the feel you want in this type of film, with a constant sense of danger lingering over your shoulder. And one real cool thing is that they use a lot of the drone footage, which creates a tense and suspenseful atmosphere during the mission. And the lead duo fits their parts, with Hemsworth portraying the determined and resourceful Sergeant Kinney. He really depicts the physical and emotional toll this mission takes on his character. And then there's also Russell Crowe, whose portrayal is awesome. Even if the character does feel a bit underdeveloped at times, his performance is outstanding. So Land of the Bad is a film that looks visually stunning and is action-packed with strong central performances. Definitely worth checking out.
You were having a very pleasant day. Bless.
Then the next day we get a new Netflix original called Find Me Falling. This is a rom-com story that follows John Allman, played by Harry Connick Jr., a down-on-his-luck rock star seeking a fresh start on a beautiful Mediterranean island. After a failed comeback album and a jaded outlook on the music industry, John retreats to this island of Cyprus. There, he encounters new experiences, unexpected connections, and the inspiration he desperately needs to reignite his passion for music. My impressions from the trailer for this one is that it's a rom-com, and we probably all have a good idea what's going to happen, but it looks like it's going to be a fun journey, which is really what counts in a rom-com anyway. But the backdrop looks to be stunning visually in this idyllic Mediterranean island setting, and the theme of washed-up artists finding inspiration and redemption feels interesting enough to build the humor and heart around in the film. Plus, Connick Jr. having a musical background is a win for this film that looks to delve into the music industry and possibly have some performances from him throughout. So if you're a fan of him or you enjoy feel-good movies with beautiful settings, then Find Me Falling is definitely worth checking out.
I just bought this house. I got a great price. What?
This area is what you call suicide hotspot.
A what?
As we head to the end of the month on the 27th, let's pick up with a movie that throws you back into the Cold War era with a fun and action-packed espionage adventure in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. We follow Solo, who is a top CIA agent known for his sophistication, who is forced to team up with a Soviet counterpart, Ilya, a skilled but brutal agent. Their mission, infiltrate a criminal organization developing nuclear weapons, and they're quickly joined by Gabby Teller, and this unlikely trio must navigate a world of international intrigue, double agents, and thrilling action sequences. And I'll be honest, I love this movie, and if you're a fan of Guy Ritchie films like me, this is a stellar option for you. His signature style is all over this one. It gives you a classic spy movie feel, paying homage to the 1960s spy movies and shows like the original Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV series, with a sleek and stylish aesthetic, plenty of lighthearted humor, cool gadgets, and the use of the 1960s music to complete this overall vibe of the era. Plus, this is another option on the list with a star-studded cast. You've got Henry Cavill and Hammer leading the way, and also support from Alicia Vikander, Elizabeth Debicki, Hugh Grant, Jared Harris, who have tons of chemistry together and all deliver charismatic performances. But the witty banter between the lead duo is really hilarious. Definitely a highlight in this one. This one is a fun and visually striking espionage film, so if you enjoy charismatic performances, stylish action comedies, or Guy Ritchie style movies, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is worth checking out.
Oh, and you have a new code name. Code name? Uncle.
So last but not least on this list, and honestly I've recommended a lot of shows on this channel, but this one has to be one of, if not my favorite show ever, especially the early seasons, and that is the series Prison Break, where we follow Michael Schofield, played by Wentworth Miller, who is a brilliant man who hatches a daring scheme to get his wrongly convicted brother, Lincoln Burrows, played by Dominic Purcell, out of prison. Michael deliberately gets himself incarcerated at Fox River State Penitentiary, where Lincoln is on death row. Armed with a body covered in tattoos that serve as a blueprint for the prison, Michael meticulously plans a complex escape for himself and his brother. One of my favorite things about this series is how complex and simple the premise is. Like I said, simple, save his brother by breaking him out of jail, but it's done in such a suspenseful way with this overly elaborate escape plan that makes it so engaging. And throughout the 5 seasons, they're able to build up the characters to these complex and well-developed versions of them. Particularly Michael and Lincoln, they explore them both individually and as brothers very thoroughly throughout. And you understand their motivations, their relationship, everything in between. Plus, every other episode, it feels like the show keeps you guessing with constant twists and unforeseen challenges for the escapes. Again, huge fan of Prison Break. This is a thrilling and suspenseful drama that will keep you hooked from episode 1. If you enjoy fast-paced stories with elaborate plans, strong characters, then Prison Break is definitely worth checking out for yourself.
My name is Michael Schofield. My brother is facing the electric chair, framed for a crime he didn't commit. After his appeals were exhausted, I knew there was only one way to get him out.
That is going to do it for our list today. Thanks for hanging out. And I know every YouTuber says this, but click the stuff down below, subscribe, like the video, share it around. It does help us get our recommendations out for others looking for good shows and movies that they can watch from home. But again, thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.